Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Abdurrahman Abd in New York. With the situation in Middle East and atrocities that are being committed, genocide on Palestinians in Gaza, there is tremendous activity throughout the United States amongst the general public about finding ways to stop this genocide and sparing those Palestinian peoples who are practically helpless. Not much can be done by individuals, and yet public opinion is really rising. And people are now learning about Islam and the faith that those people have, that they can face all of this and yet not really be grumbling or complaining about God, and they still put their affairs in God's hands. So that interest in Islam has generated so much discussion and so much of a debate that one really has to know how best to talk about Islam in this environment without getting into any kind of a disrespectful or unacceptable kind of an argumentation. The way I see it is that the best way to approach is to basically tell all people that we believe in all the prophets and there's only one religion with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is total submission to Him. You can name it anything you want, but in Arabic it's called Islam, means total submission to God. So once you say that, they will say, well, that Jesus is Son of God and this and that. You tell them that, that is not in Al-Qur'an. And Al-Qur'an basically says that God is only one. He is not born of anyone. He has no children of him. And he is one. And that is the message that he had given to all the messengers, including Jesus Christ. And they will basically have difficulty taking this out of their head because they have been told by their clergy that there is Trinity. So the best approach towards that, the way I see it, is tell them that this is in Al-Qur'an. And Qur'an is something that is not written by a human being. It's a divine message that is intact, unaltered, and without any changes in it, and in a language that it originally came. The original words are with us, and that Qur'an tells us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one, and Jesus Christ was a messenger. And they will have to then say, okay, but I don't believe in Quran. So then you have to basically use the argument that if you read Quran, you will realize it has facts in it that no human would have really known at that time. Science did not know it at the time. The way it talks about astronomy, the way it talks about the sun, moon, and the orbits and galaxies and how they were created, the way it talks about embryology, human conception from a drop to a leech-like structure, to something that is hanging, and then something that is covered in 3 or 4 envelopes and then stuff. All of that is discovered by science later on. At that time, when the Quran was revealed and it was put together, human beings had difficulty really understanding all of that, and now they are knowing. There's one clear example is that of the body of Pharaoh. Everybody thought Pharaoh was drowned and gone and all, and Quran said that we will save his body, and there'll be a lesson for people that will see it in future. And that fact became available only a couple of 100 years ago, that Pharaoh's body was, and Quran had mentioned that 1400 years ago, that's what believed. So once people are convinced that Quran is a divine word, then Quran tells us that this is so and so and so and so. So there, once they believe in Al-Qur'an, then they have no difficulty understanding that yes, this is the same message that came from Adam alayhi salam to Abraham and Noah and Joseph and Jacob and all. And then now we have the same message with us. Then they will say, well, we don't believe in anything that came after their prophet, like the Jews wouldn't believe the Christians, Christ as the messenger, and Christians don't believe Prophet Muhammad as the final messenger. And for them, the argument that we should present basically is that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best when to give what to whom. The prior messengers were only for special nations, special times, and the human society had not evolved to the point to save all that message and propagate it to everywhere else. But our beloved Prophet was born at a time, sent down at a time when human society or human family had evolved significantly. And now the message could be saved, and plus he was sent for the entire humanity, entire universe. So for him to be able to disseminate his message, it had to be really possible to do that, and that has been the case. Now Islam is all across the globe, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy is also all across the globe, and our beloved Prophet basically is the embodiment of all of that. So this is easy to understand now, and there will be no messenger after him because there is no need, because Allah's message is intact. So once we make that point, it becomes fairly plausible and fairly reasonable for people that have sound mind and that are willing to really get to the truth. For them it's easy to understand. But those who are destined to be the challenge to this will continue to be so, and that is the design of this universe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it that way so that people will constantly be challenged, and those who have a firm belief will be able to deliver their message. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all, keep us on the right track, and give us this understanding so we can pass up his message on to his creation and serve his creation that way, so that he is pleased that he has been introduced to the universe the way he intended to be. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that I was a hidden treasure, I wanted to be known, and I created man to do that. And alhamdulillah, humans have been able to now come to that point where they have that feeling that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message is now spread across the globe. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum.